Hello everyone, I welcomes all of you to this lecture. So till now we have completed different types of digital to analog converter, different types of analog to digital converters. Okay, so if you see these analog to digital converters and digital to analog converters, these are very important as far as the data acquisition or signal conditioning is concerned. So whenever we want to interact with a real physical world, we have to use ADCs or DACs, that is analog to digital converter or digital to analog converters. Okay, so that's why the study of this ADCs or DACs are very important, because it is required in the design of real-time systems. Okay, so if you see different types of microprocessor, microcontrollers, they require this analog to digital converters or digital to analog converters ICs. So whenever we want to interface any analog quantity to our microprocessor or microcontroller based systems, we require that analog to digital IC or a circuit. Nowadays, if you see any controller like ARM or any other type of advanced microcontroller, it contains inbuilt analog to digital type of a converter. Okay, but if you know how the ADC operates, then you can easily analyze that system, its operations. Okay, so that's, you must know the different basic things about the resolution of the ADCs or DACs, then how many bits of ADC or DAC is there, then how the clock is given, what is the speed of that ADC. Okay, so that is very important. So if you see the DACs that we have seen, digital to analog converter, we have seen binary weighted register, then we have seen R to R ladder. And if you see the ADCs, analog to digital converters, we have seen single slope, we have seen dual slope, we have seen flash type of ADC, we have seen very famous, that is a successive approximation type, that is mostly used in analog to digital converter nowadays. And this is the remaining one remaining type, that is staircase ramp type of ADC that we have to see. Now if you have studied successive approximation type of ADCs very well, then you will understand the staircase ramp type of ADC very simple, in very simple manner, because the operation of the staircase ramp type of ADC and that successive approximation type of ADC, the operation is a bit similar. Okay, so let us see different blocks in this staircase ramp of ADC. First let me tell the basic working principle of this. So here whatever the input voltage is there, for that input voltage this counter will count pulses, and this counter's output is directly proportional to the input voltage, and it is internally converted to DAC with the help of a DAC to analog voltage or steps. So that's why it is called a staircase ramp type of ADC. We will see the waveform of that, don't worry. Let us see these blocks one by one. This is the block diagram of a staircase ramp type of analog to digital converter. So this is the comparator. So one input is analog voltage Vi, that is to be converted into digital 1. Another voltage is output of this DAC, that is Vc. This is the comparator. So output of a comparator is given to the AND gate, and another input of a AND gate is connected to clock. Okay, so if you see the operation of this AND gate, you know the operation of a AND gate, both signals must be present or active, then only output will be 1. Okay, so when both the inputs are active, then only we will get output as a 1. Okay, so here if you see the operation of this AND gate, if you see any AND gate, and if one input of this AND gate is connected to clock, this clock will be transferred to the output only when the another input is 1. Okay, means what? Suppose this input of AND gate is 1 and the clock is present, then this whole clock or this frequency will be transferred to the output. Means whatever the clock given to the input, it will be present as it is at the output of AND gate whenever the input of this AND gate is, another input of AND gate is 1. Okay, when you place 0 here, what will happen? It will not check another input, directly output will be 0. This is the simple operation of AND gate that you know. Okay, so this counter counts the pulses transferred by this AND gate, which is in turn transferred by the clock signal. Then the counter output is given to the display. Okay, and this display will send the signal like a start and a reset. Okay, so this display is not sending the signal. Here the control IC will be there like a processor or microcontroller, but directly the display is shown here. So that's why it is shown like this. So display will contain some controlling IC. So simple display is not giving you a reset and start. So if that display contains the one controller circuitry, then it will send the reset or start signal. Otherwise, if the system is using processor or controller, then it will send that signal. Okay, and the output of the counter is given to this DAC. So DAC converts the output of a counter into analog. So the output of a counter is digital one, this binary value we can say, and that digital or binary value is converted into analog voltage. Okay, and that analog voltage is applied as a VC to the input of a comparator. But this DAC operates on a reference voltage, and this is the reference voltage of a staircase ramp type of a ADC. So I think you know the use of reference voltage. See, this is the minimum value. Reference voltage will decide the minimum and maximum value of the that particular type of an ADC or a DAC. Okay, this you have to keep in mind. So let us see how it works. The working of this is very simple. Okay, so initially what happens here, initially this counter output is reset to 0. Okay, initially this counter output is reset to 0. The display value is also 0. DAC's value, as the voltage as the input signal is given as a 0 0, DAC output is a 0, VC is a 0. Okay, so comparator output will be 0 here, and again the AND output will be 0. So the system is at stopped condition. Okay, so whenever we apply analog voltage here, see carefully, whenever we apply analog voltage here, so suppose initially we have applied the analog voltage as a 10 volt. Okay, so whenever we apply analog voltage 10 volt here, so initially we know that the VC is a 0 because the counter output is 0, DAC output is 0, that's why VC is 0. So as long as this analog voltage is greater than this VC, the output of a comparator is 1 or active we can say, and that output is given to the AND gate. Now here continuously clock is present, so that's why as long as the another input of an AND gate is 1, this clock is directly transferred to the output, and as per this clock, this counter will start counting the pulses. So suppose initially it will set to 0 0 0, then it will 0 0 0 0, then it will increment its count as a 0 0 0 1, then 0 0 1 0, then 0 0 1 1, like this it will increment. But remember, one important thing is that for each and every count, initially suppose the count is incremented from 0 0 0 0 to 0 0 0 1, so that 0 0 0 1 is applied to this DAC, and this DAC will convert that digital value into analog DC voltage, and that DC voltage is applied to the VC. Again this comparator will check this VC for this VI or VC with VI, then this VC is less than again VI, so that's why it will send the output voltage as again as output of this comparator as 1. Again the clock signal will transfer here, and counter will set this output from 0 0 0 1 to 0 0 1 0. Okay, so again this 0 0 1 0 is checked, is converted by this digital to analog converter into DC voltage as a 2 volt. Then again it is compared with this input voltage, and just like this, as long as I have discussed earlier, VI is greater than VC, this comparator output is 1. Okay, so this process continues till this VC becomes 10 volt. Okay, so this VC means this count becomes 10 volt, DAC output is DC 10 volt, and this VC will be equal to this VI. So when this VC equals to that VI, what happens here, the comparator output will be 0. So as the comparator output is a 0, then the clock will not be transferred here, and this counter value is now transferred to the display. Okay, and the equivalent digital value or binary value, which is equal to this VI, is now sent to this display. Okay, and this display value or the output of this counter can be used internally by the processor or a microcontroller. Okay, so here if you want to display that value, then you can display directly. So this is also called as a staircase ramp type of digital to voltmeter, also digital voltmeter we can call this as a digital voltmeter. Okay, so here display may be there, or the output voltage is directly given to the processor or controller, so that it can store that value or it can process that value further. Okay, so this is a basic operation of a staircase ramp type of a ADC. So in short, again, if you want to discuss the operation here, this VC is compared with VI. This comparator output is 1 as long as this VI is greater than VC. Okay, and whenever this VC becomes equal to VI or greater than VI, then output of this comparator becomes 0, and the AND gate is disabled here. It will not give the output of a clock signal to the counter, and the counter value is given to the display. So if you want to repeat this operation, again the counter is reset to 0. Okay, or a start signal is given. So reset or start is similar here. Whenever you give the reset signal, this operation will again repeat, and it will give you the proper value. Okay, so this is all about the staircase ramp type of ADC. Okay, so let us see now the waveform of the staircase ramp, which is very important to study. Okay, now this is the waveform of a staircase ramp type of a analog to digital converter. Okay, so initially the staircase, why it is called a staircase? Because we are getting this waveform like the staircase. Okay, so that's why it is called as staircase type. So if you see, this is the DAC output basically. Okay, this is the DAC output basically, and this is the gate signal, that comparator output we can say. Comparator output is there. So initially DAC output is a 0. Okay, and at this moment, suppose we have applied the analog voltage that is to be converted into digital one. Okay, so at this moment, as the voltage applied to this analog to digital converter as a VI, so what happens here in this diagram? See here, again I am repeating, at this moment we have applied the VI. Okay, so as long as VI is applied, VI is greater than this VC, what happens here? The comparator output is 1 here. Okay, so the comparator output will go to 1 from a 0. Okay, so at this moment T1 is equal to start. What happens here? The gate will be opened, and the clock signal is transferred to the counter. Okay, so now counter starts counting. Now if you see, initially the output of counter is incremented by 1, and that is compared with here, it is incremented by 1, and it is compared with this input voltage, and again the voltage is less than this VI, so the counter will increment by 1 again. It will go to second step, again it will be compared with VI, then it is not equal to VI, then that's why again it is incremented by 1. Okay, again it will be compared with the VI, again it will be incremented by 1. So again it will incremented by 1 like this till it becomes equal to the VI. So at this moment I can say that this VI becomes this VC becomes VI. So VC is nothing but DAC output, that you have to keep in mind. Okay, as soon as this VC becomes equal to VI, what happens here? The gate is now closed. Why gate is closed? Because the comparator output is 0, and at this moment the gate is closed. So here gate is opened, and here gate is closed. So the gate open part is this much, the high signal. So this is 0 and this is 1 signal, we can say. So this is high signal for which the gate is open, and and at this moment, as soon as this VI becomes equal to VC, this gate is closed. Okay, and for this period, the T1 start means what? Counter starts counting, and at a T2 stop means what? Counter stops counting, and this much time counter is incrementing, or counter is counting its value. Okay, counter is counting its value, and that is directly proportional to the VI. Okay, suppose VI is less here. In this case, what will happen? The steps will be less here, and that's why the counter start and stop period will be less, and that is directly proportional to the VI. So in this case, this staircase type of staircase ramp type of ADC works. Okay, so this is all about the staircase ramp type of ADC. Okay, so if you compare this with the previously seen, that is successive approximation type of ADC, this is similar to that. Comparator is there, DAC is there, but SAR is not used, because here SAR will set the particular bits or resets the particular bits as per the input value, but the operation is a little bit different here in case of this what we can say staircase ramp type of ADC. Okay, so I think we have completed all the syllabus. Okay, so if you have any doubts regarding this any type of ADC or DAC, then you can ask me. Okay, so just go through the each and every video that we have already studied. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can ask me, but I request all of you to please study this in detail, because these types of systems you are going to use in the future if you enter into a core electronics job. Okay, so this ADCs, again I am repeating, this ADCs, DACs are very, very important. Okay, so why signal conditioning is important, that also you have to study. Signal conditioning is important so that the signal can be processed and stored for future value. Signal conditioning is done for accuracy purpose. Signal conditioning is done to reduce the amplitude of value or a signal. Signal conditioning is done to increase the amplitude of a signal. Okay, so there are different types of systems which are utilized as signal conditioning systems, because the signal conditioning is not the same in each and every case. It will depend upon the application that you are going to use and the system that giving you the output, or the sensor that giving you output. So most of the times the signal conditioning that you are going to use depends upon the sensor's output. Okay, so you may use DC signal conditioning, you may use AC signal conditioning as per your requirement, but as far as the electronics engineering is concerned, you must know how to do the signal conditioning, which type of a signal conditioning is required for that particular system. Okay, so that's why this unit, if you see this unit, signal conditioning, need of signal conditioning is introduced in this, and data acquisition is nothing but what your signal conditioning, because signal conditioning is an important part of a data acquisition system. Okay, so signal conditioning we have done, we have seen also. So DC type of signal conditioning we have seen, AC type of signal conditioning we have seen. What are the advantages of AC over DC, that you must know, because it may be asked in interviews. Okay, so that's why signal conditioning is very important. Okay, so whenever you design any system, you have to analyze first the output of that sensor or a transducer, and which type of signal conditioning must be utilized for that you have to design. That is work of a electronics engineer in case of instrumentation. Okay, so this ADC and DACs are the most important parts in signal conditioning. While choosing a ADC or a DAC, you must know the advantages of each and every type of DACs or ADCs, and disadvantages of each and every type of ADC and DACs. You must know where to use the binary weighted type of a DAC, where to use the R2R ladder type of a DAC. What will happen when you go on increasing the number of bits. So when the number of bits increases, which type of a DAC must be used, that also you must know. Okay, so while using the analog to digital converter, which type of analog to digital converter is used? If you want a fastest speed, then which type of analog to digital converter used? So if you want fastest speed, then you have to use the flash type of ADC that we have already seen. Then if you want accuracy, then which type of ADC must be used? So what are the advantages and disadvantages of different types of ADC and DAC, that also you must know. Okay, so this all things we have covered in this syllabus, that is a data acquisition system. Okay, so in next lecture we have to start with measurements. So why the measurement is important, which types of measurements that we are using, then what are the types of errors that we have to we have to face, then which types of characteristics are there. So what do you mean by static characteristics, dynamic characteristics? These whole points we have to cover in the next unit. Okay, but this unit is again very important, I am repeating, because this covers the interfacing of your system with the physical world, that is with help of ADCs or a DAC. So if you take any competitive exams, then the questions are asked on resolution of ADCs most of the times. Okay, so again resolution parameters, the accuracy, what do you mean by relative accuracy, absolute accuracy, these are also very important parameter, because if you see the competitive exams, different types of competitive exams, the resolution of ADCs or accuracy, based upon this the questions are there. You can refer different competitive exams, you will get the questions like this. Okay, so and I have covered the each and every block in deep. So again we have faced the problem related to that operational amplifiers, because you have not studied yet that operational amplifier. But at that time only I have explained what is the use of that comparator or integrator. That also we have seen. Okay, so I think this much is sufficient for this unit, and we have covered each and every point, we have not left any point. So just go through this all the points, repeat. Then I suggest you that I have explained each and every line inside this ADCs and DACs. So I request you to please take notes of this, or you can play this video afterwards, and you have to make the notes in your own words. Okay, that will be better for you, because writing one time is equal to the reading 10 times. Okay, so 10 times reading is equal to 1 time writing. That is again very important. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you to make your own notes, so that it will be better for you, for your understanding, as well as it will be better for you at the time of a revision. Okay, so thank you very much. So we will stop here just to go through all these points, and if you have any doubt you can ask me. So thank you very much. We will meet in a next lecture. Thank you.